Hello, this is Karis and today I am doing my February reading rewind. I know I didn't make a mid-month video this month and I'm very sorry, but I was busy and I forgot, so it didn't happen. But I promise I will try my hardest to get one out in the middle of March because I really want to get into doing 2 videos a month and so far I'm not really doing very well. But anyway, today I'm here to talk to you about the books that I bought and read in February. Last month I bought 2 books because I went to the Northeast Teenage Book Awards and bought a couple of books there to get signed. The first one I bought was Salvage by Keren. This was one of the nominated books for the awards and it was my favourite one. I've read it twice and it's really good. It's about a brother and a sister who are like separated when they're very young to go to live with different foster families, and then when they're older they meet each other again and have to try and bring their very different lifestyles together. I have this book signed by the author, which is very cool, and yeah, I would really recommend it to you. Yeah. Oh, I'm so awkward. I can't do videos. The second book I bought is The Ghost of Heaven by Sedgwick. This book is so beautiful. I can't even explain my feelings. This was not one of the nominated books, but She Is Not Invisible by Sedgwick was. But I decided to buy this one because it sounds really interesting and it's beautiful. Unfortunately, Sedgwick couldn't come, so I didn't get this one signed. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's basically split into 4 sections and you can read those sections in any order you want, and they're written from 4 different points in history. So the first one is about the Stone Age, the second one's about the witch hunts, the third one is in the 1920s, and the fourth one is set in the future. I haven't read this one yet, but I'm really looking forward to reading it because it sounds really interesting and unique. And it's beautiful. Have I said that enough yet? It's beautiful. I read a grand total of 1 book in February. Basically, I just had a really failish reading month and I found it really hard to get into anything. I've been kind of in a reading slump for quite a few months now, and certain books kind of get me out of it for a while, but then I just go back in. But I'm going to tell you about all my failed books, as well as the one that I did read, which was really, really good. The first book I attempted to read this month was Eragon by Paolini. I got 56 pages in, but I just couldn't get into it, didn't really care. It was taking me ages to read. I was, to be honest, coming up with excuses not to read it. I didn't care what happened to the characters and I didn't find it intriguing at all. But I am definitely going to try reading this again sometime in the future because I have heard good things about it. A couple of my friends both enjoyed it, but one of them said that it does take a long time to get into and you have to be in the right mindset to read it. So I'm going to read this another time when I feel more like it, I think, and I'm not in a reading slump anymore, because this is not a good book for a reading slump. I mean, it's thick, so yeah. After failing at reading Eragon, I decided to pull another book out of my TBR jar and I pulled out The Secret Countess by Ibbotson. I got 114 pages into this one before giving up, but again, I wasn't intrigued, I didn't care about the characters, the storyline was a bit rubbish to be honest, and I couldn't be bothered anymore. It's written in a really old-fashioned way and the sentences are so long that you just kind of lose the point of the sentence, and the character was kind of annoyingly good and the storyline was a bit boring, and I can't be bothered with it anymore, and I don't think I'm going to pick this one up again. I don't think I'll ever be interested in it, to be honest. The next book that I read in February was the one book that I did finish, and it was Wonder by RJ Palacio. I loved this book so much. If you don't know already, I feel like everyone else has read it, but if you haven't read it, it's about a boy, a 10-year-old boy called August Pullman, and he has like a facial deformity type thing. Basically his face looks really weird and it like scares kids away and people bully him for it. He's been homeschooled his whole life and this book is about his first year at real school. It was really heartbreaking in places but really uplifting and happy in other places. The characters were so well developed and I just wanted to go and hug them all. It gave a real insight into what it must be like to live like this, because it is a real thing that real people go through. It's not just a fictional condition. It kind of made me reevaluate my opinion on stuff and made me think about what I would do in some of the situations mentioned in this book. And it really made me think, which not many books do. It was written really well, it was written from multiple perspectives, which I really liked because you got to see the story from several points of view, and the version that I read had an extra chapter from the point of view of the bully, which was so insightful and interesting. Basically, I would recommend this book to everyone. It was so good. Read it now. The next book I attempted to read was We Are All Completely Beside Ourselves by Keren Fowler. One of my friends recommended this to me and she said it was really great and there was like an amazing plot twist at the end, and I was really looking forward to reading it, but I only got 66 pages into it before I just couldn't be bothered anymore. I do want to try reading this again sometime because my friend said it is really good and the further you get into it the better it is, but right now I just don't really feel like reading something that I'm not enjoying. I'm already in a reading slump, so I'd much rather spend my time reading a book that I am enjoying. So I probably will come back to this one, but again, I don't really care what happens. I don't really know what it's about yet. It hasn't got a clear storyline. So I am going to come back to this sometime, but for now I'm going to have to put it down because I can't be bothered. So those are all the books I attempted to read in February. I also read half of The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I'm making my way through it. I'm definitely going to finish it, but I didn't finish it in February. I read half of it. So technically I read 1.5 books in February. That's still pretty rubbish. But I normally read 5 books a month, so 1 is really terrible. But I've decided not to beat myself up about it. I'm just going to read when I feel like reading and not worry about how many books I'm reading or how quickly I'm reading something. Anyway, if you did enjoy this slightly pathetic video, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And if you're interested in seeing more of my videos, then you could subscribe to my channel if you wanted. I am doing these reading rewinds every month, so if this is the kind of video you like, then you can watch them. Oh my goodness, I'm so awkward. I can't even deal with it anymore. So there's nothing else to say. I could ramble on for a long time about nothing, but I'm not going to. So I will hopefully, really hopefully, see you in a couple of weeks with my mid-month video. Bye!